Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world so ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. All right, this your brother Titus, and today we're going to be getting into what a righteous head is, right? So first, we're going to start with Psalms 1 and 1. Let's get it out. All right, this is the book of Psalms chapter 1 verse 1. And it says, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful." Right? So this righteous man that you want, sisters, this strong head that you want, he's not gonna be with ungodly counsels, right? He's not gonna for instance, right, Solomon's son, right? He suck out the counsel of his peers, right? And hey, you seen what happened to the kingdom? Two kingdoms split apart. You wanna be running with a man that's gonna take crafty counsel, just like the heathens do against us. Crafty counsel against wickedness, right? And he goes to brothers of righteousness and looks into the scriptures and speaks nothing but truth, right? About himself and about you, right? The problems that he has and the problems that you have, right? And that he doesn't lie to himself or to the Most High, right? But that he's seeking, that not crafty counsel, but that he's seeking a godly counsel, right? Titus 2. Let's go to it, man. This is the book of Titus, chapter 2, verse 6 through 8. "Young men likewise exhort to be sober-minded, right? In all things showing thyself a pattern of good works, in doctrine showing an uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity, sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is of the contrary part may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say of you." Right? So you always got to have a sober mind. And like a better words, this is telling you to always be on your P's and Q's. Never slip with your tongue. Always be speaking in a holy and godly manner towards your brethren, towards your enemy, towards whoever. You never want to condemn yourself with your own words, right? It says, "In all things showing thyself a pattern of good works," right? So, when you're sober minded, right? Well, what's something that's being unsober minded, right? Depression, right? Anger, right? Lust, right? Too much of these things, right, can leave you to be unsober, right, in your mind. We're not just talking about drinking, right? Because all of these things can throw you off of your game. All of these things can make you do and say things that are irrational, right? And that just should have never been said or done, right? So showing a pattern of good works, right? When your mind is incorruptible, right? When it can't be corrupted, right? Everything you do you're gonna have a pattern behind you. You're gonna have a trail behind you of good works, right? Uh, um, in doctrine, showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity, right? Always be sincere. Sound speech, right? That means something that people are gonna listen to because sounds make noises, right? So when it says to use sound speech, you want to talk to whoever you're talking to in a manner that they can receive it, right? And it says that cannot be condemned, right? When you're arguing with somebody and sometimes they can turn the conversation around because you slipped up and said one thing that you knew you shouldn't have said, right? But it just felt so good to say it, right? You got to know how to keep that in, right? That he that is of the contrary part, he that you're arguing with or having a disagreement with, may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say against you, right? Traits of a godly man. Let's go to Psalms 119, 9 and 10. Psalms 119, 9 and 10. I got a lot of notes here, but I might shorten it, family. Psalms 119, verse 1 through 10. All right, and it says, with my whole heart have I sought thee, oh, let me not wander from thy commandments. Right? Thy word have I hid in mine heart, that I might not sin against thee. Right? So you want a man that's not gonna be wandering away from the commandments of the Lord. Right? You want a man that's gonna always be in these laws, statutes, judgments, trying to be the righteous man that the Most High wants him to be. Right? Trying to be the leader that you need, sisters. Right? That's what you want. Right? You don't want a rich go getting Bugatti driving gold grill 5 house nigga in the world, because that's not gonna benefit you anything but the things of this world and not the next. Right? You want real gold. You want a man that is gold. Right? You want a man that is the gold. He don't bring you gold. He is the gold. Right? That's what you want. Because in the next life, all this money and that these dudes got ain't gonna mean nothing. You should be in it for this man's mentality. You should be able to provide too, but it shouldn't all be about what can you give me, right? Not all the time. Let me get 1 Corinthians 13 and 11. It's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and 11. And it reads, when I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. It comes a point in a man's mind where he just knows, look, I got to stop being this way. It's time for me to get right. It's time for me to set order in my life. It's time for me to set order in my house. It's time for me to be ordered. It's time for me to get in these scriptures. Or it's time, even if they're not in the truth, there comes a point in a time where a man knows when he needs to stop being a child, or at least let go of that old man, kill that old man and become a new one, right? This is all processes of a godly man. Let's get James 5 and 12. All right, we just gonna move through the spirit with these precepts I got. James 5 and 12. James chapter 5, verse 12, and it reads, but above all things, my brethren, swear not, neither by heathen, neither by the earth, neither by an other oath, but let your yea be yea and your nay, nay, lest ye fall into condemnation. Right? Now, there's a reason why that's being said, right? The Lord is not telling you that you can't ever swear or that you can't ever make a promise, right? That's not what he's saying. But he's saying that he's saying that it's better not to, because if you do, you have to hold it. You have to be a man or a woman of your word, because you could be held accountable for the things that you swear or make an oath to, right? Let's get that proof. Numbers 30 and 2. Right? If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth. That's why when the Israelites, when we say we're going to do something, we say Lord willing, right? Because a man's goings is not of his own, they're of the Lord, right? So you don't know if you're going to be somewhere or if you're going to do something. It should always be Lord willing, you know? Deuteronomy 23, 21 through 23. When thou shalt vow a vow unto the Lord thy God, thou shalt not slack to pay it, for the Lord thy God will surely require it of thee, and it will be sin in thee. But if thou shalt forbear to vow, it shall be no sin in thee. That which is gone out of thy lips, thou shalt keep and perform, even a free will offering, according as thou hast vowed, unto the Lord thy God, which thou hast promised with thy mouth. Right? So you want a godly man that's going to keep his word. When he says he's going to do something, he does it. Right? That's what you want. And I'm not saying that, let's say, he never fucks up. He never makes a mistake. Right? When he says he's going to do something. But what I'm saying is, the majority, when you think, can I trust my husband? He just said he's going to do this. Can I trust he's going to do it? The majority answer in your head should be yes, he's going to do it. Right? He says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. Right? Salakia. So let's get Philippians 2:8. Let's get it. The book of Philippians. The book of Philippians, chapter 2, verse 8. And it reads, "And being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross." Right? So that's going into Yahweh Shai, right? And he was humble, right? You want to make sure that you're humble. Men, be humble in everything. Even if you know that you just big shit, always be humble, because the Lord can humble you, right? Saul was a big, mighty man, biggest man around, but the Lord raised a kid, a teenager, up to take his place, right? King David, mighty King David, right? So, y'all got to be circumspect in these things. These are some traits that you should look for in a godly man. And we're going to go ahead and end it off with that. All right, y'all, Bashim, y'all, Shabrakatah, Shalom.